So, everybody is pretty much doing something right now. My mom is in the shower. Little Jay over there playing with some bugs he caught. He said they water bugs. They caught him out the water out over there by the beach. Park ranger riding by. My mom's in the shower. And my grandson is in the tent laying down, asleep. So I decided this is a good time to do the Q&A. So, first I want to say, got a few shout outs. Because this is officially the day that I started. It's been 1 year since I started the Ruby Slippers channel. Prior to that, I was on YouTube and I would post just to have memories. But I did decide to finally start a channel because I knew I was going to do van life. And so I said I might as well document it like a lot of the other van lifers I was already watching. So I have a few that I need to shout out. First, of course, Life with Anthony, because when I started, I had a couple of hundred. But then when he shouted me out, it was like I got hundreds within like 2 weeks. So I really appreciated that. I also appreciate part-time Black Pearl, part-time van life, which is Benjamin. I appreciate him. He shouted me out. I also appreciate his comments and supports, to keep going. I also traveling with Charity, Kathy. I appreciate her. Ariz B shouted me out. Some people just shared my work. Some people just, sent such kind comments that made me feel like, okay, some people do want to see it, so I'm going to keep going. Because initially it just was like, okay, I'm going to do it, and I'm not expecting much. I'm just doing it as a hobby, and I like, it was fun doing the videos, then I'm editing them. It could get hectic, but it was still fun. So the comments from you guys, I appreciate it. I also appreciate Veganlicious because she, showed appreciation in my work. So I want to thank her for that. So many people that send nice comments and the likes. I just really appreciate it. I want to say that off the bat. So as far as this year with my channel, it's been fun for me. Sometimes I got a little worried because the subscriptions would go up, then go down. So I'm like, am I doing something wrong? They don't like it. Then it just was like, they would just go up. And they would stay there for a little while. So that's been my experience. As far as getting monetized, I had already had the 1,000 subscribers by just the watch hours. They make you get a certain amount of watch hours. So it's like, what do you do? Somebody said make more videos. But I'm not just going to be just making stuff just to make any old thing, So that's been my experience this year being on YouTube. It's been fun for me. I can't really complain. I appreciate the growth because it's only been a year, and I really appreciate where I'm at in a year's time. What else I want to mention? It's been, I think, like 8 months since I started the actual van life. And I haven't been doing stuff like, you see your average van lifers and they doing all this big time traveling in their van. I actually just live in my van. And hold up, y'all. I live in my van. I already was traveling before the van. I had 2 RVs prior, so I already was doing the major camping. I already was just, going on trips and going other places. So that wasn't it. It was, trying to get out of this. I felt like I was in a rat race financially. And I knew that I could survive without all that if I had the van and, things like that. So I live in my van. I still travel, but it's not a whole lot of travel in my van, especially because I don't feel that my van is very reliable. It's reliable to live in and move around in my city, but I don't feel it's reliable enough to be going to all these spectacular places. So that's another reason why I built out my car, so that I can go some places and not worry about if something does happen. You know, it's a lot to get those type of vehicles towed. Like, it costs a lot, especially if you're far from home. Ask me how I know. I had 2 RVs before the van, and it's like, it takes a lot to get it towed. So if I was to break down somewhere with the car, it would be more financially, and it just would be easier to get towed and get fixed and all that type of stuff. So with that being said, let me just start with these questions. Okay, so first question I'm going to start with comes from Talisa XJ 4PM. Hey, Talisa, girl. The question was, what type of work did you do before you retired, and how old were you when you retired? How long have you been retired, and what's your intentions to do van life after retirement? Good question, Talisa. I retired from working with the mentally ill, criminally insane. I started at 19 in just the minimum security in a psychiatric hospital. And I worked there for 8 years. And then I transferred over to the maximum security, which was, for the criminally insane. It was like a prison setting. So you know how if, say somebody unalive someone and they get not guilty by reason of insanity, they don't just go out in the street. They go to another facility, which is, it's equipped like a prison, but they get hospital care and treatment that they wouldn't get in a prison. So that's where I retired from. I retired at 35. All praises due to God. But I retired at 35 because I got a bad injury at work. I tore out my ACL. That ripped at the same time I tore out my cartilage. So within that time frame, I had to get like 7 surgeries, because once they did the surgery, something happened where the screw was coming back out, so they had to go back in. Then they tried to do some type of fracturing my bone technique to see if that'll build a blood clot for the cushion where I was missing cartilage. So with all that being said, I was forced out into early retirement. So it has been maybe almost 17 years that I have retired, at least 16 and a half. And what I did in that time frame was, my daughter, she was like maybe 4. So I spent all my time with her. And I didn't plan for van life after retirement. It was not necessarily van life, but being on the road was something I dreamt about, like, as a child. And, other people would be like, oh, you're going to be a bum. You can't do that. That's what bums do. But I dreamt of that as a child. And then when I had my daughter, it was like, that totally left my head. It was just really all about her. I had a child now. So I raised her. Well, when she was 9, when she was 10, I had my son. So as she began to get older and I started to homeschool my son, that's when I was doing a lot of camping with him, and I had purchased the RV. So then I had it in my mind that I wanted to go on the road with him. And then again, people saying, you ain't go on the road with a kid and this and that. And I'm thinking in my head, I already homeschool him. We could just go on the road. And then people, like I said, were saying, oh, you shouldn't do that. And then there was a YouTuber that I used to watch. Her channel was Off Grid with a Kid. And she had a van, though. And funny thing is, she had the same exact van that I have right now. So I've been manifesting this van. Because when I had watched her, I had the RV. But I felt like, and it was her and her son. And her son name was Carter. Yes, but anyway, I used to watch them and I'm like, wow, me and Little J can do that. So then my goal was to get something more, something smaller that we can move around in. So I got the second RV, which was still, it was a Class C, but it was smaller than the other Class C because the other Class C I had was kind of long. So I got that one and I felt like, yeah, me and Little J gonna just travel the roads and he'll see the world while I homeschool him. Because I was already retired. And then so the plan was, once Heaven graduated out of high school and whether she went to college or whatever was going to happen, I was going to go on the road with Lil J. So that's why I had the second RV. Within that time frame, Heaven had graduated. She ended up having a child. And at the time, I was like, okay, I can't go anywhere. My daughter's going to have a baby because she was pregnant at the time. So, me and Lil J, it just was put off until, Heaven had the baby and did all that. During that time frame, Jerome started to live with his dad. And so it was like, okay, Heaven said she was getting her apartment. And also, I had got rid of the van, the other RV, because I came across the van. And when I came across the van, I was like, this is what I've been wanting the whole time before the RVs. So I sold the other RV, got the van, and just had the van. And was saying, I still had it in my mind that me and Lil J was going to travel in the van. It was more compact, and it had everything we needed in it. But, like I said, he started with his dad, and Lil J's dad is the best dad you could ask for. Speaking from being on both sides, I'm not going to talk bad about anybody, but Heaven's dad and then his dad, and then growing up, with other people and their fathers and things like that, it's just that, I know that he is a great, great dad. Their relationship, I could never try to break that. So that made me feel like, okay, I can't just take him on the road and be gone. And so I decided, maybe I shouldn't do that. And then it just came up where I'm going to live in my van. When Heaven gets her apartment, I'm going to live in my van. Lil J already lives with his dad, and I'm just going to stick around and make sure I go see him every day. If I decide to go somewhere, we can FaceTime, or I'll take him on certain trips with me. And that's how I end up getting into the van life that I'm in. I didn't want that answer to go too long, y'all, but it did. Sorry. Okay, next question is from Gat Weird. I hope I'm saying it right. What's on your bucket list? I don't even really have a bucket list. Growing up, I always heard people talk about bucket lists, and I just never made a bucket list because I didn't want to put that on me, something I have to do before I die. So I just never made a bucket list. But it's a whole lot of things I would like to do. This one is from Arizby. Hey, Ariz. What keeps you on a positive mindset? Honestly, at this age, I just feel like it's going to be what it's going to be, honey. And I've known that at this age, I also learned to pick my battles because I used to fight everything when I was young, honey. Everything. Everything was a battle. But then I got to a point where I learned that being upset or holding on or struggling for things, it's just like, it ended up being what it's going to be. Or I would end up in some trouble. So it just made me just sit back and deal with things for what they are. But, side note, I've just always had that positive thing about me, which would sometimes be a flaw because I would have friends who would be like, no, you always trying to come up with an excuse for somebody. They wrong. Or no, if it's bad, it's just bad. You always trying to make something good out of something bad, because I always had that positive spirit. So that's another thing I also learned sometimes to just shut up. When people start telling me about a bad situation, inside, I have all these positive things to say, but I learned to just shut up and let it be what it is. So that's how I deal with it. Let me see. Okay, this from Fab at way too. My screen's moving. At way too real for you. One. What is one state you would travel to if you won a new mobile home today? Honey, if I won me a new van today, I couldn't even really say one state, but I could definitely tell you what I would love to do. I would love to do a coast to coast on the West Coast. Because I've driven, on the East Coast going down south so many times, up and down, back and forth. But I would want to go from the West Coast, coast to coast, and just, stop at blueberry festivals and cranberry festivals, different stuff that I see or saw on TV growing up as a kid that was never in my area. Since I'm, born in the hood, born and raised. So yeah, I would do that if I had a new RV. I would definitely just go coast to coast on the West Coast. Route 66, Slab City, all that. Vegas. Okay, what is your favorite? This is from Coco Jean Lewis, 8673. Hey, appreciate all your comments. Appreciate you watching my videos. What is your favorite genre of music? Okay, I love all music, like honky tonk, everything. I love all music. But my favorite genre of music is R&B. That's my go-to every time. Let's see here. This is another one from Coco Jean Lewis, 8673. Would you ever consider doing another video with your mom? The two of you are hilarious together. She is so funny and authentically herself. Yes, I would consider that. Anytime I'm anywhere and she's around, I would probably most definitely put her in a video. But if you mean like just a video of us two, yeah, I probably would do that. Just got to think of the right reason. Okay, this is from Miss Stewart. Miss Stewart 8447, and she asked, do you have any regrets about doing van life? I can only think right now of one regret, because again, I've only been eight months in. But the only regret that I really could think of is that I didn't do this years ago. Like, I didn't have my daughter till I was 30. And like I said, I worked at a psychiatric facility, and we had locker rooms with showers and our own lockers and everything. Our grounds was secure. And it's just like, I was there even from the age of 19 till when I had my daughter at 30. I could have accumulated so much money and just saved money. But instead, I was renting apartments and renting houses and putting money into getting them fixed and things like that. So, yeah, that's the only regret, is that I didn't do it way back then, opposed to now. Okay, let's see here. Okay, this is from Avia 707. Hey, appreciate you too. Have you ever been married to Jerome's dad because you guys make a cute couple? No. I haven't been married to Jerome's dad. We were engaged for, let me see, probably 4 or 5 years we were engaged. We were together longer than that, but we were engaged probably 4 or 5 years. And we separated. We just never did it. So no. But I've been married, even though that wasn't a part of the question. I've been married and also widowed. So, but the person I married, I didn't have any children with. Let's see here. Okay, this is also from Avia 707. What made you want to do van life, and do you find yourself getting overwhelmed? Okay, I think I answered a little bit of it earlier on, what made me want to do it. But what really pushed me to do it now is I'm honestly think it was the age and the change in my life and feeling and seeing things differently. So that's what made me do it now. And I haven't found myself getting overwhelmed yet. Maybe because I had it good, to be honest, y'all. Because I started and I knew it was winter and I knew that I didn't want to take the van far. So I've been pretty much parked and plugged up, but I've been, doing things in my car in the daytime and going back to the van. So I've been pretty much okay this winter. So no, I haven't been overwhelmed, actually. I haven't been. I had to stop for a minute. Phone was getting real hot or something. It looked like it was glitching. But so yeah, to continue, I haven't really been overwhelmed, thank God. So, like my first eight months was pretty, I did some trips, but not in the van. So yeah, I'm not that overwhelmed, thank God. I'm sure there may be some obstacles along the way. Okay, so the next question is from Veganlicious. Hey, girl. Hope you enjoy your photos. Yeah, you sent me an email, but it didn't. It just said your photos were sent me, but it didn't. That's it. So, let me move on. My question is for you. Hold on, y'all. My question for you is, has anyone in your family started your family tree, and have you ever thought about finding out your roots via ancestry? If so, no, it says, I find it so interesting. Oh, my thing is messing up, y'all. Well, let me answer that question because this video is getting long. My Uncle Jerome, he went back pretty far and found out a lot of our ancestors. I'm not exactly how far he went, but he did find out a lot of information. So yes, we have started that in our family. And then let's see here. Okay, Shell Living Green. This was I think she asked this question about the car though. She asked how tall was I and am I going to travel in the car to set up? Yes, I'm going to do some traveling in the car. Stuff that like if I want to go down to the shore for 2 days and I don't want to have to take the van for gas reasons, size reasons, the whole thing. Like, so if I'm solo, definitely I would use the car for that. And I'm 5'2". I'm short. Okay, let's see here. I think I only got 2 left, y'all. Okay, I think I got 2 left. Okay, yeah, I think I got 2 left. One of the questions that was on here that I saw, no, I answered, did I have any regrets? Someone asked me also if I would be scheduling a meet and greet. I don't think that too many people will come out. Not yet. Maybe if I get more and more subscribers, I would do something like that. And I would definitely want to do like maybe a 2-day camp out or something like that if I was to do so. Now, this is the last question, and I think I saved this one for last because I was like, when I read this question, but I'm going to have to be honest, so this one comes from Shell Living Green. The question is, are you dating or in a relationship? If so, how has it been since you started van life? Honey, yes, I was dating. And I actually went through a breakup since I started van life. That's another whole big story. I mean, initially I felt like it was because I started van life. And, just like some women, it feel like if you seeing somebody and it's not going nowhere and then they start to do something else, and it's like, okay, they don't have no plans on building with me. But that wasn't the case. It wasn't a case of that. I actually started to find out more things that came out that made me feel like, yeah, I am doing the right thing as far as going on and doing my van life. So yeah, I was in a relationship, but I experienced a breakup since then, and I'm good. I'm good. So yeah, that's all the questions, and I appreciate y'all for submitting the questions. I also appreciate the times that I've did a video needing some support or advice. I appreciate you guys who came in the comments, and again, I appreciate you guys that shouted me out. I always appreciate you watching and commenting. So I hope I answered the questions good for you guys. And thanks again. I'm about to go on over here and finish doing some of these things before everybody get here.